This is the 18 WJTS News. In tonight's news, Spencer County Sheriff's Office is investigating an assault that occurred this past weekend. 2 Jasper police officers have received the Carnegie Medal, and an American Idol finalist will be heading to the Lincoln Amphitheater this summer. Ann Powell looks at the weather forecast. Zach Gruber talks with the DuBois County Humane Society. And in sports, Kurt Kuchsel talks with Forest Park standout Gavin Knust, who signed to play baseball at IU Southeast. All this and more coming up on the 18 WJTS News. Good evening. I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. The Spencer County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating an assault that took place over this past weekend. The Spencer County Sheriff's Department says that the assault happened on Saturday, June 20th at around 5:30 a.m. and was reported later that day at around 6:30 p.m. Officers say the suspect is a man who stands at 6 feet 2 inches tall, has dark brown and gray facial hair and shoulder-length hair. He was seen wearing a dirty black baseball hat with camo pants and a black cutoff shirt. If anyone sees someone that matches this description or has any knowledge of the incident, they are asked to call the Spencer County Sheriff's Office at 812-649-2286, 649-2286. 2 Jasper police officers have received the Carnegie Medal. Officers Grant Goffinet and Brent Duncan received the medal for their acts of heroism. The Carnegie Medal is given throughout the U.S. and Canada to those who risk their lives to an extraordinary degree while saving or attempting to save the lives of others. Goffinet and Duncan, despite having no fire rescue training, saved a man from a burning vehicle. On September 16, 2018, Goffinet and Duncan arrived at an accident where the front passenger of an overturned and burning SUV remained in his seat. The passenger appeared disoriented to the officers. Goffinet and Duncan discharged fire extinguishers at flames in the car's engine compartment, but the fire continued to burn. Goffinet entered the SUV through a broken-out rear hatch window. He entered to his waist, removed a headrest from a rear seat, and called to the man who moved toward him. Goffinet grasped his upper body and pulled him, and by then, Duncan had joined Goffinet at the vehicle's rear and gained a hold of the man's arm. Together, they removed the man, and a bystander helped Goffinet and Duncan drag him away from the vehicle before flames spread and grew to consume it. The man was taken to a hospital for treatment of a facial abrasion. He was not burned. The 2020 Latino Culture Fest has been canceled due to the COVID-19 concerns. However, ALASI and the Latino Culture Fest committee members say they are working on a new project to replace this year's Latino Culture Fest event, normally held in Huntingburg. Information about this event will be released in the coming weeks. The 2021 Latino Culture Fest is scheduled for September 3rd and 4th. If you have questions or comments, please email ALASI, that is ALASI, Indiana@gmail.com. County-by-county unemployment numbers for the month of May are out, and Daviess County has stayed in the top spot as far as counties with the state's lowest unemployment rate. Numbers released Monday by the Indiana Department of Workforce Development show Daviess' May rate standing at 5.6%, a drop of 2.8% from April. Now, statewide, Indiana's unemployment rate fell to 12.3% in March. Indiana's workforce increased by nearly 111,000 people in May to 3.3 million people. The number of people who are employed grew by more than 267,000, and the number of those without jobs fell by more than 156,000. Close behind Daviess County in unemployment is DuBois County with an unemployment rate of 5.7%. Martin County was at 5.9%. Spencer County had an even 8%. Warwick County had an even 9%. Pike stood at 9.8%, while Crawford reported a 10.8% unemployment rate. Vanderburgh County reported an unemployment rate of 11.6%, with Perry County close behind at 11.7%. Gibson County stood at an even 13%. Orange County's unemployment rate stood at 18.5%. Each saw a significant drop from the previous month. Howard County had the state's highest unemployment mark in May at 21.8%. An American Idol finalist will be heading to the Lincoln Amphitheater this summer as part of the Lincoln Amphitheater's AMP Unplugged shows. American Idol Top 10 finalist Paul McDonald will be performing at the amphitheater July 26th. Tickets are currently on sale at lincolnamphitheater.com. All seating is general admission with social distancing guidelines in place. AMP Unplugged performances will abide by all rules and recommendations from the CDC, as well as the guidelines of Indiana's Back on Track plan for reopening the state. For additional information about the governor's plan, visit www.backontrack.in.gov. On-site sanitizer will be provided. A local defense contractor has announced plans to grow in Daviess County. Artesian Electronics, a small business specializing in engineering, technical, and IT and cybersecurity services for the defense industry, announced plans to expand its operations in Odin, creating more jobs by the end of 2023. The Odin-based company will invest $350,000 to enhance its 10,000 square foot headquarters at the West Gate at Crane Technology Park, making office improvements and new computer and software investments. These upgrades will enable Artesian Electronics to increase its technical capabilities for key U.S. defense organizations such as Naval Air Systems Command, U.S. Department of Defense, and Naval Sea Systems Command, including Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation are also offered Artesian Electronics up to $325,000 in conditional tax credits based on the company's job creation plans. Radius Indiana Regional's Impact Fund will provide a $3,625 grant to expand the company's workforce training and internship program. The Daviess County Economic Development Foundation will provide an additional $1,000 in matching funds to support the Regional Impact Fund grant. Hoosier Hills Credit Union recently awarded scholarships to 10 graduating area high school students, continuing with the credit union's program of helping students pursue higher education. Scholarships in the amount of $500 were presented to students who are or whose parents or guardians are members of HHCU in the top third of their class and who participated in school and community activities. Recipients must be enrolled as a full-time student at an approved college and be recommended by the school's scholarship committee or a scholarship foundation. Recipients of the 2019-2020 HHCU scholarships are Savannah Huddleston and Ty McBride of Bedford North Lawrence High School, Ashley Rice, Heritage Hills High School, Madison Foley and Cole Tabor, Jasper High School, Jarrett Phillips, Mitchell High School, Lilia Camp, Orleans High School, Harley Bush, Paoli High School, Kelly Salmons, Springs Valley High School, Molly Arnold of Tell City High School. For information when to apply for scholarships, students should contact their school's guidance office during the first semester of the 2020-2021 school year. The Indiana Department of Transportation has announced a number of local projects. The Indiana Department of Transportation announces overnight lane closures on I-64 near Ferdinand. Beginning Thursday, June 25th, contractors will begin operations to install sensors on I-64 at mile marker 64 between East Ferdinand Road and Montecasino Road. During this operation, crews will close the westbound right lane from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. All other lanes will remain open. Work will be complete overnight. The Indiana Department of Transportation has also announced a temporary closure of State Road 57 intersection in Daviess County. Beginning on or around Friday, June 26th, contractors will close Thorpe Street at the intersection of Meridian Street to the intersection of 57 for repaving as part of the ongoing intersection improvement project at State Road 57 and Meridian. Work is expected to last for 3 to 4 days, depending on weather conditions. Local traffic will have access up to the point of closure, but through traffic should use the official detour following Meridian Street, Burris Street, and Southwest 1st Street. INDOT urges drivers to slow down and stay alert near crews. And Indiana's Governor Eric Holcomb announced Indiana pre-K through 12 schools and higher education institutions can now apply for a needs-based competitive $61.6 million grant program providing funding to improve remote learning. The $61.6 million Indiana received in Governor's Emergency Education Relief Funding provided through the Federal CARES Act will be focused on device availability, connectivity, and educator capacity. In collaboration among the Governor's Office, the Indiana Department of Education, the Commission for Higher Education, and the Indiana State Board of Education, the state expects to award dozens of grants. There is no minimum or maximum threshold. However, grants may not be funded at the full amount requested. Traditional public school corporations, public charter schools, accredited non-public schools, higher education institutions, and other education-related entities are eligible to apply. The deadline is Friday, July 17th. And that's been a look at your local news. Stay tuned. Zach Gruber pays his weekly visit to the Du Bois County Humane Society. Then it's your local outlook and weather forecast on 18 WJTS with Ann Powell. WJTS, local people watching local people.